Alright guys, we're going to meet your meat, haha, today. And some of you guys got to see this in class, but some of you either had to leave early for sports and things, or you were not here today. Shame, shame, come to school. Or you're online only. Yay, you still get to see some of this. So, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you some pictures of some things. I'm going to go through them one at a time. There's 14 of them. I'll give you a second to kind of see, look at the color, shape, size, texture. Try to guess what animal did it come from and what part of the animal it is. After we've looked at all 14 of them, then I'm going to go back and explain what they are. So that way you know. By the way, this is not blood. There's no blood in any of these things. Blood is properly drained out of the animal's body. This is just meat juice. That's all it is, okay? So, there you go. Don't need to worry about any of that. So if you're grossed out by blood, totally not blood. Don't worry. So, here's item number 1. To give you some reference for size, here's my hand. Pretty large, okay? Not my hand, but the meat product is large. Bone. Okay. Item number 1. Beef, pork, chicken, or lamb. Go. Item number 2. Number 2. We can kind of sort of see this through the bag. This one. Smell that? No, you can't. It smells kind of smoked. If that gives you a hint, it has been cured. Number 3. Hand for reference, so it's roughly the size of my hand-ish, okay? Color, getting some bag shiny. Size, texture, lots of meat juice. Number 4, okay? Hand for reference, significantly smaller than the last one. Look at the color, shape, size. That one's kind of shiny, sorry. Okay, that was 4. Number 5. What is it? Oh, wait. Most of you probably know what that is. Pretty easy. I'll give you 3 seconds. Okay. Number 6. Also another kind of easier one. Color, shape, size. Emphasis on shape on this one. Number 7. Number 7, if we look at it, kind of look at the texture of this. Emphasis on the color on this one. Number 8, same concept. Look at the texture. Now compare the colors on these two. That might help you with both of these. 7 and 8. Number 9. 9. Hand for reference, that's the size. Color. Look at everything we got in here. Walking, walking, walking. 10. Ooh, fun. Look at this one. Can't say look at all those chickens because no live chickens today. Size for reference. I don't know how well you can see that, but this is squishy. Don't know how much that helps you. 10 through 14 are a tad more challenging. Just these are not typical things. 11. Size. Oh, look, they're little bitty things, right? Color. Texture. They're kind of hard. Kind of weird. That's 11. Now we get to the good stuff. It's all good stuff. Okay, this is 12. Size for reference. Okay. Ugh, what is it? I don't know. You guys gotta tell me. Okay, 13. Oh, my goodness. Size. Or maybe I should do this. Size. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, 14. Oh my goodness gracious. Size. Holy moly. Oh, texture. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, now that you've seen them all, we're going to go through these together. As you're watching me walk around tables. One at a time. Number 1. If we look at this thing size-wise, that's a pretty good sized chunk of meat, right? Now, if we look at it a little closer, we said that beef is going to be basically one giant muscle. That's not one giant muscle. We can see a couple different muscles in there. Our bone's kind of skinny, okay? This is going to be lamb. If we look at the color, that helps give it away. It's kind of dark. This is lamb, and this is a shoulder roast, okay? Number 1, the lamb shoulder roast. Number 2, bacon. Most of you guys probably got that one pretty easy. My comment about the smell probably helps give it away a little bit. Number 3, if we look at the size, kind of medium shape, medium size I should say. If we look at the color, it's kind of a medium color. Medium should be pork, right? This is a pork chop. Specifically, this is a sirloin chop, okay? Number 4, if we look at the size, pretty small, okay? Especially if we compare it to number 3. Well, bam. These two together are about the size of that one separately. Muscle, pretty little. Color, dark. Those are lamb chops, okay? Lamb chops on sheep come from the same spot that our pork chops on pigs do. Fun fact of the day. Number 5, chicken breast. Specifically for like our poultry judging, this would be boneless, skinless breast half. Because it's half the breast, so it's kind of that teardrop or half a heart shape. There's no skin, no bones, okay? Number 6, chicken. Because obviously we've got some distinct shapes, kind of our peachy color. Don't call it a leg. Technically, this is a chicken drumstick. If it was a leg, it would still have the thigh attached, okay? So we're going to be specific. We're going to call it what it's actually supposed to be called, which is a chicken drumstick. 7. If you guessed this was ground meat, you were correct. This is ground pork. If we look at the color, it's lighter. 8 is actually ground lamb. If you guess ground beef, you're close. It kind of looks the same. Our ground lamb is usually a little fattier than our ground beef, though. So that's one giveaway on this case. But you can see pork is lighter than our lamb. You can tell the color better in person. Number 9. Okay, size, pretty good size. One big chunk of muscle. It's dark. This would be cattle or beef. This would be specifically a steak, and this is actually what we call a flat iron steak. It's going to taste delicious when I put him on the grill, okay? Now, steak and cattle is the same thing as our pork chop and pig, same thing as our lamb chop and sheep, okay? So if we see here, we can see differences in the size, we can see differences in the color, we can see differences in the shape on the flat iron's a little different. If we had a T-bone or a ribeye here, the shape would look a lot more similar to what we've got here for our pork and our lamb, okay? When we come back here, number 10, this is actually a liver. So it's not really a muscle, it's actually an organ. And if we look at the size, cattle liver is going to be like the shape of my size of my head. Quite large. This is actually a pig liver, okay? It's about the size, a little bigger than the size of my hand, very dark red, very squishy. It's kind of the giveaway on that. Dark and squishy. Number 11. Okay, these are small things. They're light colors, so we know it's going to be poultry. The texture's kind of funky. These are chicken gizzards. So remember, gizzards are part of the digestive system. Their job is to squeeze, and when it does that, it breaks up all the food, the nuts, seeds, whatever your chicken happens to be eating, so they can actually digest them. Because remember, chickens don't have teeth, because if they had teeth, they'd look super weird, and they'd probably creep you all out. Number 12. This looks disgusting, and in this case, it's actually bruised right here, which is why it's really dark. But actually, this is a pig tongue, okay? Size-wise, about the length, little over the length of my hand, but this is actually a pig tongue. Number 13. Now, if we look at the size, when I kind of had my fist over here, that should have sort of helped you guys guess the shape and the size here just a little bit. If we start to kind of look at this thing here, some of it looks kind of smooth, some of it's kind of got some funky lines going through this. This is actually a heart, and it's actually a pig heart. Now, pork and lamb hearts are about the same size. A beef heart would be significantly larger, so about the size of my hand spread out. But that's a pig heart. We're going to get him out in just a second. And then 14 is a big blob of massive muscle with the funky texture on the outside. This is actually cattle tongue, lengua. Makes good tacos. So, for you guys to be able to see these just a little better, I'm actually going to pull the heart and the tongue out. So if you're like, oh, disgusting, you can stop it now. If you're like, yes, I'm in for adventure, just wait. So, got my hearts in my bag. Or my dad would say, where's the thump thump? If you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, I would choose to say it. So with the heart here, okay? Now you can see he's about the size of my hand. Now the cool thing about the heart is we can actually open him up a little bit and we can see the ventricles and the atriums, and we can actually see the interior part of the heart and how kind of that striated muscle works together. Actually, it's a smooth muscle, but we can see the striations inside of there. So you can actually see those different areas in the heart. Now, on top of the heart here, you didn't know you were having science and biology today either, did you? On top of the heart here would be where our aorta and our vena cava, called a vena cava, come out of there. Okay, so that would be the artery and the vein that carry your blood supply to and from your body. So that, thump, 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 is how the heart works a little bit. Okay, now the moment we've all been waiting for. Cow tongue, lingua. This is actually one giant muscle. Now some of you are thoroughly grossed out from the size and the texture of this thing. Now the texture, okay, to have you worry a little less here, okay? On the outside of their tongue, we've got this basically fold of skin that covers it that contains the taste buds and all this kind of weird stuff. That gets pulled off before we eat that, okay? Unless you're just gonna throw it to your dog. Don't do that. Cut it up nice. Be nice to your dog. But the tongue is actually just a giant muscle. It's very lean, not much fat in it because it's constantly moving, right? So when this thing's constantly moving, it helps burn out the fat. So exercise, you didn't know we were going to talk about PE and health either. Exercise, because it burns fat, it makes you feel better. But anyway, with our tongue here, we'll peel off the outside before we use it. Usually with hard muscles that don't have much fat, we cook them low and slow to make sure that it's not so tough when we go to eat it. Cow tongue makes awesome tacos. If you haven't had lingua or cow tongue tacos, you should totally try it. They're pretty good. Better if you get them from somebody who knows how to make authentic Mexican food, because it's that much better. But anyway, $10 if I lick it, $10 if I don't. I don't know. My camera lady might throw up if I actually go ahead and lick this tongue. So probably we'll save it for when you're here in person. So come to school so you can watch me lick a cow tongue. Ha ha ha. If you're virtual, sorry. Anyway, cow tongue, large, in charge, you know the drill. So those are the different parts of meat we got to see today. You can stop.